Four House Republicans joined Democrats in passing a war powers resolution to limit the president's authority to carry out attacks in Iran. Some on Capitol Hill are also pushing back on President Trump's decision to nominate Todd Blanche to be the next attorney general. As acting AG, he spent weeks defending a controversial DOJ fund that Democrats are working to permanently bar today. Natalie Brand has more.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with his Kuwaiti counterpart one day after a deadly Iranian drone and missile strike on Kuwait's international airport. President Trump appeared to downplay the attack, saying Iran was retaliating to U.S. defensive strikes.
It takes two to tango, you understand that.
And he insisted a peace deal to end fighting could still come soon, even as Iran says there hasn't been tangible progress.
The negotiation itself has gone very well, actually. Very well.
Mr. President,
it could happen. I mean, if it happens, and it might not happen, who knows? But if it happens, it could happen like over the weekend.
In a rare rebuke, the U.S. House approved a war powers resolution to block the president from military action in Iran without congressional approval, with 4 Republicans joining Democrats.
I think a lot of his decisions are not popular, and as November approaches, you'll see more bifurcation between the White House and the House of Representatives among Republicans.
The president criticized them as unpatriotic, saying it's right in the middle of his final negotiations to end the war.
President Trump in recent weeks has faced increasing bipartisan pushback, including opposition to a DOJ fund set up to compensate individuals who claim that they were unfairly prosecuted by previous administrations. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche testified this week it's off the table.
We're not moving forward with the fund.
The president is expected this morning to formally nominate Blanche to the post. He had pushed for the fund during a contentious meeting with Senate Republicans last month.
We take this off the table, Todd's chances of becoming confirmed as the AG go up, I believe, immensely.
Senate Democrats are expected to force a vote today on permanently restricting the fund. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
We're learning more this afternoon after a shooter opened fire during a high school graduation. Police say an 18-year-old victim has died. 3 other people, including an 11-year-old child, were hurt when shots rang out after 7 o'clock in the parking lot. It happened after the graduation ceremony for Somiedo High School, which shares a campus with Fairfield High School. Police say a manhunt for the suspect is underway. The circumstances of the incident are still being investigated. In Bakersfield, California, a 15-hour standoff came to an end early Wednesday. It came after a suspect barricaded himself inside of a school district office. Police say the suspect, wearing what appeared to be an explosive device, took 10 people hostage on Tuesday, releasing 2 of them before eventually being shot and killed by FBI agents. Officials say all of the hostages were unharmed.
We always err on the side of caution in the sense of making sure that we're taking care of our victims in this case as much as we possibly can. But it was based on the circumstances that we had at the time that FBI chose to move in and make the tactical entry.
The FBI says the devices recovered from the scene were not explosive materials. The motive is still unclear as the investigation is ongoing. Another update in the emergency boil order in Elkins. The mayor says first round of water samples has tested negative for E. coli. Another round was sent to the Department of Health, and they are waiting on those results. The mayor says they expect the boil order to be lifted sometime in the next 2 days. The order started Friday after the mayor says an employee took a sample from a buried hydrant site not in the water detection system. People in Elkins should continue to boil their water for at least 1 minute and throw out any ice cubes that weren't made with boiled water for the time being. Centerton police have shared the procession route set for next week to honor the officer who died while off duty. Captain Chris Kelly was killed Sunday in an explosion at his farm in Gravette. The visitation is set for next Monday. A funeral will be on Tuesday, both at First Baptist Church in Rogers. A procession route after the funeral will start at the church. It will take the route that's right there on your screen. It ends at Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church in Gravette. Police say the best areas that people can gather to pay their respects are across the street and in front of the Benton County Sheriff's Office and the Centerton Police Department. New now in that breaking news we first brought you on 5 News this morning yesterday. A woman is dead and a Crawford County deputy is recovering in the ICU after a house fire in Dyer. Sheriff Daniel Perry says firefighters and deputies were dispatched around 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday to the house, which was taken over by flames. 4 residents were in the home, but 3 made it out safely. 1 person was missing. Deputy Robin Gaines rushed into the home to try to attempt a rescue, but unfortunately, Gaines was not able to reach the woman inside and burned himself with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree burns.
Cause of the fire is under investigation by the State Fire Marshal's Office and our Criminal Investigation Division here. We are not releasing the identity of her until she has been positively identified by the crime lab.
Sheriff Perry says Deputy Gaines is in stable condition. He says most of his burns are on his arms, but he also had cuts on his hands. Going in depth now, this comes a week after state officials say this year fire-related deaths in Arkansas are at a record pace. Last week, the state's fire marshal's office reported 28 fire-related deaths in 2026. It's 1 more than the record pace set last year. They say it's due to one big factor: smoke alarms. Only 2 buildings involved in these deaths at the time of that report had working smoke alarms. The fire marshal's office says you should test your alarms, change batteries when necessary, and replace alarms according to manufacturer recommendations.